start. Là, j'ai là. Mesh. Okay. Edge. Navigateur, Edge. Ok. On va voir. Animation Basics. About animation, keyframe, and expression. Animation is change over time. You animate a layer or an effect on a layer by changing one or more of its properties over time. For example, you can animate a layer's opacity property from 0 to 100% to make the layer fade in any property with a stopwatch button to the left of its name in the timeline panel or effect control panel can be animated. I will search expression. Expression. Chapter 16. Working with expressions. Many of the examples in this section are based on examples provided by Dan Ebert. Dan Ebert also has an excellent collection of example expression and tutorial for learning how to work with expression on this website. The After Effects enhancers forum provide lot of examples and useful information about expression as well as script and animation presets. About expressions. When you want to create and link complex animation, but would like to avoid creating tons of or hundreds of keyframes by hand, try using expressions. With expressions, you can create relationships between layer properties and use one property's keyframe to dynamically animate other layers. For example, if you set a rotation keyframe for a layer and then apply the drop shadow effect, you can use expression to link the rotation properties value with the drop shadow effect's direction value. That way, the drop shadow change accordingly as the layer rotates. You can even use the pick wipe to link path properties. So a mask can take its path from a brush stroke or a shape layer object. Expressions are based on the standard JavaScript language, but you don't need to know JavaScript to use expressions. You can create expressions by using the pick wipe or by copying sample example and modifying them to suit your needs. Note: two great sources of example expressions are the expression sampler template project. Go to File, Browse Template project, and the animation presets in the behavior category. Animation Browse Preset. You can do all of your work with expressions in the timeline panel, though it is sometimes more convenient to drag the pick wipe to a property in the effects control panel. You can use the pick wipe to create expressions, or you can enter and edit expressions manually in the expression file, resizable text files in the time graph. The expression files appears alongside the property in layer bar mode. The expression files appear at the bottom of the graph editor in graph editor mode. You can write an expression in a text editor and then copy it into the expression file. When you add an expression to a layer property, a default expression appears in the expression file. The default expression is essentially does nothing. It sets the property value to itself. A for enable expression switch. B show post expression graph button. C pick wipe. D expression language menu. E expression field. When you are editing an expression, previews of all sorts are supposed. A red bar appears at the bottom of panels that are waiting for you to exit text editing mode. The value for a property that contains an expression appears in a red or pink type. Animation presets can include expressions or even consist entirely of an expression. Animation presets that use expressions instead of keyframe are sometimes called behaviors. After you add expression to a property, you can continue to add or edit keyframe for the property. An expression can take the value of a property as determined by its keyframe and use that as input to generate new, modified value. For example, the following expression on a layer's position property preserves the layer's keyframed motion and causes it to wiggle a little. Transform dot position dot wiggle 10,10, 10. Using the wiggle expression is often much faster and easy than using the wiggler. If an expression cannot be expressed, After Effects displays a message explaining the error automatically disables the expression. A yellow warning icon appears next to the expression. Click the warning icon to view the error message again. To show expressions that have error, select one or more layers, right-click Windows or Control-click macOS, a selected layer in the timeline panel, and choose Reveal Expression Errors from the context menu. Some expressions rely on the name of layers or property in your project. If you change the name of a layer or property that is involved in an expression, After Effects will attempt to update the expression to use the new name. However, in some complex cases, After Effects will be enabled to automatically update the expression, in which case the expression may produce an error message and you must update the expression yourself. Important. If you are running After Effects in a language other than the one for which an expression was written, or if you have changed the name of items such as layers, effects, or other property groups, then the expression might not work until you modify the expression to use the new names or the string that match the language in which you are running After Effects. Because the examples in this document were created for the default state of After Effects running in English, some examples in this document will not work with the such modification. Precomposing multiple layers will also cause expressions that refer to one of the layer's property to produce an error, requiring you to update this expression to refer to the layer within the new composition. See about nesting and precomposing on page 113. Note: the arguments for some After Effects have changed from those in previous versions. If you have existing expressions that use argument index references rather than argument name, you might need to update the expression to use argument name. When you are animating text, you can use the expression selector to dynamically specify how much you want character to be affected by an animator property through the use of expressions. You can add one or more expression selector to animator group, and that animator group can contain one or more properties. See also Save an animation preset on page 353, about animation keyframes and expression on page 183, work with selector on page 289. Add, edit, and remove expression. You can enter entire expression yourself. You can enter entire expressions yourself by manually typing them or by using expression language menu. Or you can create an expression with the pick wipe or paste it from an example or other property. A good way to begin working with expression is to create a sample expression with the pickup, pick wipe, and then adjust the expression's behavior using sample math operations such as those listed in the Fluent table. Symbol function: add, subtract, divide, multiply, equal, minus 1 perform opposite of original such as counterclockwise instead of clockwise. For example, you can double the result of by typing star 2 at the end of the expression, or you can halve the result by typing divided by 2 at the end of the expression. As you develop comfort editing expressions, you can combine this sample operation and more. For example, you can add divide by 360 times 100 to the end of an expression to change its range from 0 360 to 0 100. This would be useful if you wanted to convert the value of a 360-degree dial to a slider that is measured in percentage. The expression language menu in the timeline panel contains language elements specific to After Effects that you can use in an expression. This menu is helpful for determining valid elements and their correct syntax. Use it as a reference for available elements. When you choose any object, attribute, or method from the menu, After Effects automatically inserts it in the expression field at the insert point. If text is selected in the expression field, that text is replaced by the new expression text. If the insertion point is not in the expression field, all text in the field is replaced by the new expression text.